Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is, reviewing The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Episode 10, talking about the girls. And then I also want to bring up a couple of other things that are in the news, in the blogs about Monica, about Mary's son, and about, what the girls are up to and what it's going to do. So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And as you come into the room, my beautiful candy canes, say hi in the chat box, drop your candy canes. Where are you listening from? And what are your thoughts, questions, and comments about all things Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? So with that, let's dive right on in. So I thought this was a fun episode. I thought it was fun. It wasn't my most favorite episode of all time, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it, and then I think it's really good because it will be gearing up for the big Bermuda meltdown. And I really can't wait to see the messy scammer Monica get exposed. So one second, you guys. All right, you guys, and we're back. So I cannot wait for the Bermuda meltdown episode. So I have a question. Do we need both Meredith and Angie K this season? Because I kind of feel like Meredith and Angie K give the same energy. They're both kind of flat. They're both kind of just there. They're both kind of, a little blase. Although I do think that Meredith surpasses her. Meredith gives, she has more of a dynamic with the women. She has better reads. She has better shades. But I feel like Meredith and Angie kind of have the same energy this season. Also, I think in this episode and going into Bermuda and the rest of the season, the alliances are also being exposed. I think the new alliance is going to be Heather Gay along with Lisa Barlow. And then I think that there are secret alliances. I think there's one between Angie K and Monica. And then I also think there's a secret alliance between Whitney and Angie K. So I'll do a deeper dive into why I think that when we get into everybody's slides. Okay, now let's move on to Miss Messy Monica. Number one, the whole scene with her mother was so scripted and so fake. Her mom bringing the Range Rover back, Monica weaponizing her children, being like, oh, is that grandma or mommy, whatever they call her? Is that grandma? Oh, lock the door. I don't want her coming in here. And then the kids pretending like they're scared of their grandmother when clearly they are not afraid of their grandmother. So that was obviously staged and coached. And then also how rude and how disrespectful Monica was toward her mother when her mother came to drop the car off. Number one, if I was her mother, I would not have given her the car back. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have done it. Not on my watch. Not today, Satan. I would not have given her the car back because you're not going to clown me. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to have me stranded out here at Angie K's Easter dinner and then expect to drive the car that you only have because it's in my name, right? Hey, everybody. Hey, Miss T. What is up? Hey, Tay says Monica's a disrespectful, spoiled little brat. 100%. 100%. I would not have given the car back. Now, let's talk about why didn't the mother call it an Uber? Because if you're bringing the car back and then Monica's not letting you, have her daughter drop you off at home, production is not giving you a ride home, because we're going to get into that. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Chocolate Chunks? How are you, sweetheart? You see what I'm saying? So why wouldn't you just call an Uber or a Lyft? I'm pretty sure the mom has it on her phone. So the whole, I'm going to walk home was very staged. And I don't think she actually walked home, but I do have an article I want to read about that in a little bit because Monica's mom, her poor thing, comes out and has to explain herself because she's so embarrassed and she's spilling the tea on what actually went down with Monica and that whole scene. Okay. Now, the way, to me, everyone's like, not my candy canes because you guys get it, but I have people in the comments like, you've never heard of a toxic mother? You've never heard of a narcissistic mother, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course. But to be honest with you, from everything I've seen, to me, it seems like Monica is the one who's the narcissist and she is the one who is toxic. Is her mother perfect? No, but nobody is. And it seems to me like her mother knows exactly who her daughter is. She knows she's a liar. She knows she's a scammer. She knows she's toxic. She knows she's unstable. She knows she's disrespectful. And to me, it seems like the mom is calling her an MF and all this stuff because at some point, I agree with the mom. She said, we're not on the same level, Monica. I'm your mother. Monica treats her mother like she's beneath her, like she's some random chick in the street. There is no way in hell. I don't care how toxic I want to claim my mother is. I'm going to leave her stranded at a party. I'm going to disrespect her. And then I'm going to have her, quote, walk home. Just no way. It's too disrespectful. It is too disrespectful. Way too disrespectful. And then did you guys see how Monica was playing the victim to Meredith about Lisa, about the fight she had? She was like, oh, Lisa said that because again, she's milking this whole BS storyline that her mom is so toxic and this, that, and a third. Oh, she said that, my mom doesn't even want to raise me and blah, blah, blah. And Meredith, I believe, is seeing through her BS. And she was like, okay, well, try to respond and not to react. But Monica always plays the victim. And don't forget, Meredith wasn't at the Greek Easter party. So Meredith did not see firsthand just how disrespectful Monica was to her mother. Because also remember, it wasn't this episode. I think it was the episode before that or the one before that, right? When all the girls the majority of the girls were together. It was like Heather, Lisa Barlow, Meredith, and I forgot who was, I think it was Heather maybe, was saying was catching Meredith up on what she missed because she wasn't at the Easter party. So she didn't see what happened. And I think it was Heather who was saying, Monica was saying how her mom takes away her car and weaponizes her car when she doesn't have it. And then Meredith was kind of defending Monica, being she should get more responsibility and take that power back or something. And all the other girls were like, well, no, you didn't see what happened. You're not going to want to defend her on this one because Meredith wasn't there. So Monica always tries to play the victim to get people on her side and twist different stories and everything that happens. She's nothing but a big, in my opinion, egotistical, spoiled brat, narcissistic little girl. Little girl. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about what's happening in the news. So as we know, Heather Gay is suing Monica for a measly $2,000 that Monica is refusing to pay for her lip injections and nose injections. And then she's countersuing Heather Gay for $50,000 in damages. How does that make any sense? Your services were $2,000 that you're refusing to pay, but you're asking Heather to pay you $50,000? What damages? I've said this before. I think she's only countersuing because, one, she wants Heather to drop the lawsuit. It's like a legal move. Think Erica Jane. We're appealing for legal reasons. So a lot of times people will countersue you when you're suing them as a way to get you to drop the case. Not because they actually have a valid case. You see what I'm saying? And then another thing is, if you're claiming that your nose job and your nose injections were, quote, botched, where are the receipts? Because I personally don't get injections or anything like that. But if I did, and I felt it was botched, I'm taking photos, I'm taking evidence, I'm taking videos, I'm taking selfies, I'm calling Beauty Lab yo, listen, you got me all the way effed up. My face is looking botched and crazy. You need to fix this. You need to comp me. You need to, I'm not paying anything. You need to refund me. And B, you need to fix this. And I'm going to have a trail. I'm going to have emails complaining. I'm going to have my complaint with the Better Business Bureau. I'm going to have my photo evidence, because when you feel like your face is botched, that's a big deal. So Monica, stop lying. This is what happened. You used your other name, Monica Fowler, from your first marriage. You went to Beauty Lab. You paid the little upfront money. You got the goods and services, and then you stopped payment on the rest that you owed. And then when Heather realized that Heather Fowler was the same person as Heather Garcia, who's been playing in her face all season, who's been acting like her friend all season, who turns out to be a snake in the grass, who owes her company $2,000, or yeah, $2,000, that's when Heather said, I'm going to sue you. So I'm Team Heather all the way, because it wasn't like she sued you out the gate. She sued you once she realized the scam that you were truly running. Because honestly, I think that if Heather Garcia hadn't come on the show and was playing in Heather's face like she was her friend, I think Beauty Lab probably just would have written off the 2,000. Like, that's not something you would really sue somebody over, maybe like small claims or something like that. I don't think that Heather and Beauty Lab would have ever sued Monica if she was just a regular smuggler person who jumped out on the bills over $2,000, But I think she sued her out of principle at this point. Like, you are on this show, you are playing in my face like you're my friend, and the whole time you did me and my business and my livelihood dirty as hell. And Monica's only countersuing to save face, a botched face. Girl, bye. Stop with the lies. Stop with all of that. It makes zero sense. So it came out that she also in the news, that she got full custody of the kids and about a little over $6,000 a month in alimony and child support. Now, I have a couple of articles about Monica and her mom that I want to read for you guys. Let's first do a deeper dive into her divorce, alimony, child support, and all of that. Now, remember, if you guys were with me when we did our Miami recap, I was saying, why is Lisa so excited that she's getting $8,000 from Lenny every month for the kids, and they're preliminary. They haven't actually divorced yet. So that's just the preliminary amount. That amount most likely will change once the divorce is finalized. I hope it's higher. But if messy Monica over here is getting a little over 6,000, and then Lisa in Miami, married to Dr. Boobs and the plastic surgeon in their huge house, is only getting about $8,000. That's a little bit the same, give or take like a 1,000 or 1,500 or two, right? Because she's getting a little bit more than 6,000. So that's why I was like, this $8,000 would be, to us, our regular smuggler people, it's a lot. And we'd be like, okay, that's great. But to like these people, I was like, girl, what? Crazy. All right, but let's move on to Monica's lies being exposed. So a lot of what Monica has said on the show has turned out to be blatant, bold-faced lies. The math isn't mathing, and now it's all coming out. So let's dive in. This is from Reality Blurb. It says Monica Garcia's divorce from her ex-husband, Mike, has been finalized, and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City newbie has been awarded full legal and physical custody of their 4 kids. Just 4 months after Monica filed for divorce from Mike for a second time, a judge signed off on their split, finalizing the document on October 24th, 2023. Literally, that was 2.5 weeks ago. Okay? And dealing Mike with a substantial amount of required support as his ex-wife was allowed to remain living in their Utah home. According to a November 9th report from the U.S. Sun, Mike, who currently resides in another state across the country, will be allowed to see his and Monica's 4 daughters, including Bree, Jaden, West, and Kendall, at reasonable times and places. This to me just sounds like, well, let me read this other bit and then I'll dive into what I think is going on here. He'll also be able to spend time with them on holidays, including Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, while Monica will have them on Thanksgiving. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. So the reason why I think Monica got full custody is because she wants to be able to keep the kids in Utah and keep all of the kids, even though her eldest daughter is from her previous relationship. She probably wants to keep all the kids together. So I think that's why she got full custody of the kids, because as it's stated, he doesn't even live in Utah. He lives across the country in another state. And then I think it's very normal that he's probably getting summers and holidays. That's pretty standard when one parent lives out of state. One parent gets summers and holidays, the other one gets the full custody, right? Now, I thought let's keep going, and then I'm going to break down what's going on here. Okay. So although Monica has claimed to own a children's company, she said in court documents that Blvd has, quote, zero value at this present point in time, and that she does not have any countable income from any source. Meanwhile, Mike has a gross monthly income of $17,333. Due to his high salary, Mike was ordered to pay Monica $2,636 per month in child support until each kid turns 18 and $4,000 per month in alimony until June of 2037 or until Monica remarries or moves in with another partner. Listen, I thought that Monica and her husband were already divorced. Didn't she come on the show acting like she was divorced? Didn't she come on the show acting like the reason why she got divorced was because she was sleeping with her brother-in-law for 18 months? And that, he flipped out and he had abandoned her and the kids? Isn't that how she came on the show? But it turns out that she literally only got legally divorced 2.5 weeks ago. And she's been legally married to this man this entire time. So every single episode we have watched of Monica, she has been married. But she's sitting up there lying and saying she's divorced. Also, I'm confused. And I'm confused as to why the lawyers aren't doing their due diligence. She said she had zero income. Does Bravo not pay her? Because you filed for divorce. The divorce I just went through, she only filed that in June of 2023. She might as well have been still filming. Were they still filming in June? When did they go to Bermuda? March or May or something like that? You see what I'm saying? So you filed for divorce in June of 2023. I'm sure you've gotten some Bravo checks after you got paid for the show. So how are you claiming zero income? I'm pretty sure NBC Universal cut you a couple of checks for being a housewife on the show. So how are you claiming zero income? More lies, more lies, more lies. And I'm confused. How come his lawyer wasn't like, sweetheart, I'm looking at my television and I see you holding a snowflake. Are you holding the snowflake for free? So what's really good? Thought you were divorced. Thought it was because you were having an affair with your brother-in-law. And now you're claiming you don't make any money? I'm confused. Okay. As for their home, Monica will continue living in their $424,000 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom ranch-style home in Kaysville, Utah, which has a $168,000 mortgage remaining. Monica was ordered to pay the mortgage because she was giving exclusive use and possession of the property, and Mike will receive $130,000 in equity, which will satisfy the lien. So that makes sense because, again, he doesn't live in Utah. So he's like, yeah, that's fine. You take over the house with the kids because that's where you all will be living. And I'm also confused. How come Monica keeps acting like she lives in the projects? Like she is so poor and broke and destitute when she lives in almost $500,000 home that she didn't pay for. Now she has to make mortgage payments because now it's hers with the kids. But clearly, Mike was the one who bought the house. And clearly, he makes a lot of money. So I'm confused as to Monica's I'm so poor, I'm so broke storyline. You're living in a $500,000 home. Your husband was making almost $18,000 a month. You were still legally married to this man up until 2.5 weeks ago. So none of your story is making sense. Heather Gay was 100% correct when she said, don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. Don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. She was 100% correct. Let's hear more lies. Following the finalization of their divorce, Monica celebrated in Las Vegas, where she attended BravoCon with her Real Housewives of Salt Lake City co-stars over the weekend. During an interview with E! News last month, Monica shared where she and Mike stand as co-parents. Because this is confirming what I said before. Monica was lying about being a single parent. And that pisses me off. Shout out to all the real single parents out there holding their children down. She says, he is a wonderful dad and provider, and we just weren't good together, and that's okay, she stated. He calls and checks on me. He'll see something in the news, and he'll get defensive and be like, that's not even true. Right, it's not true because she's a liar, and that's what you're seeing are the lies. So blame her, not us. I am the mother of his children and will always love and respect each other because of that. Didn't Monica act like she was abandoned by Mike? Didn't she act like she was the sole breadwinner for her and her kids? Didn't she act like he just got up and deserted them? But yet, last month, you're talking to E! News saying he's a wonderful dad and provider. And he is, because you're getting over $6,000 a month for your children. You guys are staying in your family home. He's taking the kids on summers and holidays. And I'm not giving him kudos for doing what he should do. You are a father to your children. You should take care of them. You should make sure the mother and the kids are good. So that's what you should do. So I'm not giving him praise for doing what he should do. What my point is, she's a liar, trying to act like a victim, trying to lie and say she's a single mother. You're not a single mother. You're a woman who is very taken care of, and you're co-parenting your children with what, by all intents and purposes, seems like a really good guy. You had sex with his sister's husband for almost 2 years. And he's still having your back, you're saying, calling you and checking on you and defending you. That's a better man than me. I don't know if I could be married to someone who was having sex with my brother's wife for 2 years and then still be kumbaya with this person. So all I'm saying is that he sounds like a really good guy. He sounds like a good father. It sounds like the custody situation is because he lives in a different state, not because he doesn't want to physically be there for his children. So again, you lied, playing victim. That's why I never believed a word you said about your mother, because you're doing the same exact thing. You wanted to be the victim. Oh, my ex, she kept saying that it was her ex-husband. They were still married. He abandoned me and the kids. I have to provide for the kids. That's a lie. He was still sending you money, because this is the thing. If the divorce just got finalized, just like what Lisa is getting in Miami, just like what Shannon got in the OC, just like how everybody gets, he is paying you preliminary child support and alimony prior to the divorce being finalized. So it's not like he wasn't paying for you and the kids. He clearly was. So you were up here lying this entire time. And now you're talking out of both sides of your face. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn Monica was acting like she was divorced and he abandoned her and the kids, and she was a single mom holding down her family with whatever little Etsy shop she had going on. You know? Okay, let's see. What else is going on? The last bit of this. Okay. Whew. Monica married Mike in September of 2009 and filed for divorce in December of 2013. Then, after reconciling months later, Monica filed in June of 2023. I need that to be clarified and cleaned up. Did they reconcile months later in 2013? Or had they reconciled in 2023? Like they were just reconciled? Because it says then after reconciling months later, Monica refiled in June of 2023. Now, this is the gag. I don't think it's public yet, but it's about to be when it's soon, because Monica did an interview with People Magazine about this. What is the real reason why they got divorced? I mean, legally divorced. It's not because she had an affair with her brother-in-law for 18 months. Because if that was the case, they would have been legally divorced. Why did she file in June And why was it just legally finalized in October? What's the real reason why they got divorced? Maybe he met somebody else. I don't know. Maybe she did something. I don't know. Time will tell. But put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. Now, let's move on to Monica and her mom. Okay. So I feel so bad for Monica's mom. She is just so embarrassed out here in these streets. She stays on Twitter. She stays on Instagram defending herself. Poor thing. But she is speaking out and she's giving more clarity on what happened with, Monica being, allegedly Monica tried to get military benefits illegally and all of that stuff. But let's dive into the latest drama between Monica and her mom and the rumors and the lies, okay? So this is from Reality Blurb. It says Monica Garcia's mom, Linda, took to her Twitter account on Tuesday night to deny that she's a monster and accuse Monica of playing the victim. As you guys know, I side with Monica's mom on this. I think Monica is actually the biggest monster, the biggest narcissist, and she just is playing victim 100%. As the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City saw Linda returning Monica's Range Rover after repossessing it, Linda reacted to a report claiming Monica attempted to get military benefits while also explaining why she took the car in the first place and sharing why production refused to give her a ride home after she dropped it off. So this is what's on the screen. This is a screenshot of the tweet thread. So someone says, please tell me you live down the block, a fan wrote. Adding in a second message, wow, production couldn't even give you a ride. No, I asked, Linda confirmed. They said it was a liability issue, something like that. I was very upset. Look, you can't be mad at production for not giving you a ride when your own daughter wouldn't give you a ride. And I think the reason why production wasn't really trying to mess with Linda like that is because production's not stupid. They know Monica is a liar. They know Monica is a scammer, and they probably didn't want to run the risk of getting sued by Monica. See, there's an accident that happens, or who knows. There is liability when you ride somebody in your car, even just regular schmegler friends. When you get in an accident and you say you're hurt and you want to sue me or my insurance company, that could happen. So maybe she didn't sign a waiver. She didn't sign, I don't know, a contract or a release form. I don't know, but production was like, we're not getting involved. But why didn't she call an Uber or a Lyft? You see what I'm saying? And honestly, Miss Linda, if I were you, if I would have went and dropped the Range Rover off and I said, can you give me a ride home? And she said no, I would have hopped my butt right the way back in the Range Rover and drove home and said, well, then you figure out how you're going to do it. I would not have taken that disrespect. To be perfectly honest, Linda looked like the abused person in the relationship. Think of it as like if Monica was a man and Linda was the battered wife. And I know that's very stereotypical, but I'm using that as an example because it's an easy one to reference. Linda, to me, seems more like the battered person, the more abused person than Monica does. Linda seems very afraid to speak up to Monica. She seems very afraid to piss her off. She walks around on tiptoes. She has to apologize for her. She kind of walked away like, I'm giving a peace offering. Like, can we go to therapy? Like, Linda's giving battered wife, not Monica. While Monica just stood there with her arms crossed, giving her mother attitude. With the stank look on her face. Monica did not look like anybody's victim to me. It really seemed like battered mom syndrome or something like that. According to Linda, she took the Range Rover from Monica because Monica wasn't making prompt payments on the loan, which Linda says her name is still on. Now, this is some new juicy tea because I thought the reason why she took away the Range Rover was because Monica disrespected her at the Easter party and stranded her there. But if Monica, in alignment with her being a scammer and, being known for not paying her bills, that's why Heather Gay is suing her right now for $2,000. If she wasn't making payments on the loan, which is in Linda's name, that could mess up Linda's credit. That's not going to hurt Monica by not making the payments. That's going to hurt Linda. So if that's the case, Linda really is the battered person. You're putting, you know your daughter can't pay her bills, and you're getting car notes in her name, risking your credit. No. If Monica wanted a Range Rover, she should have been able to qualify and make those payments timely and on her own, another Twitter user stated. It's unfortunate because you're being painted in a certain way. Monica and our production are helping you. I think this car is going to continue to strain you both. She also promised in the dealership that my name would be off in 1 year. It's been 26 months and my name is still on the loan, Linda noted. Of course, your name is still on the loan. The people at the dealership, they're not your friend. The people at the bank, they're not your friend. They're going to say anything for you to sign on the dotted line to get you to buy the car, to get you to get the money so they can get that interest rate and take your money. It's up to Monica to make it right. And as we know, Monica is a pathological liar and she's a thief. Did she steal Lisa Barlow's $60,000 ring? That's still up for debate. Some people say yes, some people say no. She sure as hell stole from Beauty Lab, didn't pay her $2,000 balance, and now she's trying to countersue for $50,000? And what damages? Out here cussing your mother out, disrespecting her, playing victim, lying on your now ex-husband, making everybody think he was a deadbeat dad and that you're a single mom when you're not. He's not a deadbeat dad and you're not a single mom. You're a co-parent. You're a co-parent. Yikes. Another person suspected Linda took Monica's car away to get her attention. Monica had not made an on-time payment in 2 years. 2 years, not one, Linda replied. That's why they weren't taking Linda's name off the loan, because the loan wasn't in good standing. Not one, Linda replied. The first time on payment came this year in October of 2023. I'm not playing this game anymore. I am being maligned in the worst possible way. Poor Monica's mom. As for a report suggesting Monica had attempted to get military benefits and faced legal action for doing so, Linda said that wasn't actually the case. Monica didn't claim to be a veteran, she clarified. The local car wash tried to sue Monica for a broken machine. She didn't do it. They dropped the suit, case closed. Okay. Also on Twitter, Linda, who previously accused the Real Housewives castmate member of bullying, defended herself against Monica, saying that she's no monster and suggesting Monica made a habit of playing the victim. I'm not a monster. I was a great mom and a great bobo, Linda shared. I think that's grandma. In episode 2 or 3, Monica says what a blessing it is to have me 3 minutes away. That was the truth. Somewhere down the road, her story changes and I'm suddenly a monster. I'm not. Monica is a provocateur who pushes your buttons until she breaks you down, then cries victim. I forgive her. God bless. Exactly. That is a narcissistic person. They bully you until they break you down. And then when you pop off, they play the victim like they weren't the ones who broke you down to that place. Classic. And even though Monica is a bully and a narcissist and a selfish liar, Linda's still her mom. So she's trying to clear her name, but of course she's still trying to protect her daughter. You know, Linda's out here like, listen, I'm just trying to let you know I'm not the monster and this is how my daughter is. But as a mother, of course, she's still trying to, defend her daughter because that's her mother. And Miss Linda, I'm telling you right now, you said, and all of a sudden I'm a monster. I have broken this down 15,000 times. I'll break it down one more time because you asked the question, Linda. I'm going to answer it for you. You said somewhere down there. Okay, you said in episode 2 or 3, Monica says what a blessing it is to have me 3 minutes away. Yes, that was the truth. Yes, I agree 100% with you. This is what I said from day one. In the beginning of the season, it was very clear. There was no problem with Monica and her mom. There was no problem with Monica and the grandkids. Or the grandmother and the grandkids. Everything was cool, kumbaya. Then she says, somewhere down the road, her story changes and suddenly I'm a monster. I'm going to tell you exactly where it went down the road. When Monica showed her ass at Angie K's Greek Easter party and lost her damn mind and her mask slipped and she was throwing shoes at kids, she was cussing you out. She was cussing Angie out and she lost her mind and she was worried she was going to be kicked off the show or iced out by the women and it wasn't a good look and she was worried about her position on the show, instead of saying, you know what, I had a temper tantrum, I acted wrong, I take accountability for my actions, she threw you under the bus and used you at the scapegoat. That is the moment you're looking for. When you say suddenly down the road her story changes, that is the moment. The moment where she didn't take accountability for her own actions and instead said, my mom's a monster, she's so abusive, she abandoned me when I was 12, and we have this toxic relationship, and I was just as confused as you were, Linda. But that's exactly what happened. We've talked about it a lot on the channel. So that is your answer, Linda. That's why she flipped on you, because she didn't want to take responsibility for her piss poor behavior and she threw you under the bus. And now that she's done that, now she has to run with that narrative. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that is the deal. I want to know what you guys think when it comes to the military veteran benefits. Do you think Monica, because we now know she is a pathological liar and a thief, do you think, and a fraudster, do you think she really was trying to get the military or veteran benefits? Or, first of all, much love and respect to all of our active duty military and our veterans. Much love and respect to you all. Thank you for your service. Do you think Monica really was trying to get over and her mother is just trying to protect her? Or do you think it's something like what her mother said? It was like about a broken machine or something. I think her mother is just trying to protect her. That's what I think. But put it down below. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Now with that, let's move on to our next lady. So Miss Lisa Barlow. Now, I love that Lisa could not be bothered to pay Whitney any attention this episode. Like, she just literally cannot be bothered. Her shade about the cash bar and no food was classic. Now, let's talk about her singing at Heather's book signing. Number one, yes, her song was off key, but that was actually supposed to be like a bit. It was a shtick. But I don't think people got it. I think people thought that. Now, I'm not defending Lisa Barlow's singing capabilities. I love Lisa, but I'm rational, okay? But it was a bit. You know what I'm saying? She was supposed to be cringy, and then Heather's supposed to come out and be like, "Can I get an amen?" And then have everybody come in. But I don't think it landed. I think people thought that was Lisa Barlow really trying to sing like that. Now, don't trust Angie, Lisa. She is a low-key, high-key Lisa hater. Don't forget that it was Angie K, Angie H, Whitney, that Dana girl, and Heather. Remember when they tried to do that Lisa takedown? I think it was like a couple seasons ago about catering gate, when they tried to say, oh, Lisa called the catering people and told her not to cater Angie H's event because Angie and Whitney were friends. Remember all of that? And that whole situation, that whole scandal going on about, oh, she's telling people not to work with us and she's trying to sabotage our events and blah, 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 which I really don't believe. I don't think Lisa Barlow could be bothered with all of that stuff. Don't forget that core group. The head of it was, the head of it was Angie H, because Angie K is a beta B, but Angie K was a part of that group. And remember when Whitney was trying to take it down? And Lisa was like, why are you now to Angie Harrington? She was like, why are you all of a sudden saying you're cousins with Whitney when I had never heard of this? Why are you siding with her? Because I think Angie Harrington was doing a behind the scenes campaign I think she wanted to replace Lisa Barlow. She thought she should have been the HBIC on the show. That she wanted to replace Lisa Barlow and get all her minions in on it as well. Heather Gay was in on it. Whitney was in on it. All of them were in on it. Don't forget about that. Angie K to me is spineless. She is not your friend, Lisa. I'm telling you, don't trust her. That's why she's so two-faced and wishy-washy and trying to set you up with stuff and trying to set you up. Don't trust her. She's not your friend. She was in on the okie doke. Okay? And I know that there has been stuff going around about Lisa Barlow's son, Jack, about where he is stationed for his mission. I'm not going to say where they're saying he was stationed for the missions because I'm not going to dox someone when they're on a mission and everything. It's now saying that, like, no, he really is still going to go to Colombia. And I can say Colombia because they said it on the show, but that he was working out his visa. I personally, to be honest with you, I personally was like, well, good on Lisa for keeping her son in a safer city. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If she wants her son to stay in a safer city, then hell yeah, stay in a safer city. You know, whether he's working out his visa and then he's going to go to Colombia, I don't know. But if he can stay in a safer city, then stay in a safer city. Obviously, that is no disrespect to Colombia or to any area like that. Obviously, no disrespect. But I'm just saying, if you can keep your children safe, you want to keep them safe. So my mind was blown when I was seeing all these people being like, oh, Jack's not in Colombia. He's actually here. And again, I'm not going to say where he is. I'm not going to dox him. He's actually in this state, blah, 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 blah. How is he? And I'm just like, first of all, he's still a child. He just graduated out of high school, about to go into college or, you know, on the mission. He's still a kid. Like, if he wanted to stay in a safer city, if she wanted to protect her child, let her. I just thought it was very shady and very like, please have some boundaries, people, when it comes to this. And why would you try to use that as a way to go after Lisa? She's just a mom trying to protect her children. You know, like, people need to stop. They really, really do. They really, 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 really do. Okay, now let's move on to Angie K. Angie K is, like I said, she's two-faced. She wound Lisa Barlow up about Monica, and then she turned on her when Lisa had her back. Now, Lisa didn't like Monica anyway. I'm not saying Lisa liked Monica and then stopped liking her because of Angie. I'm just saying that Lisa thought she had a friend in Angie and a common enemy in Monica because of what Monica did, talking about the rumors about Angie's husband. We know what the rumors are, his sexuality and cheating and all of that stuff. And Lisa is kind of like, I'm confused. You know, when you're in my face, you'd want nothing to do with Monica. You know, Monica really betrayed you. You know, she really came for your family. She's the one who said it on camera. She brought it to the show. And all of a sudden now you're taking her side when she's attacking me. I think Lisa Barlow is very valid in that. I would feel some type of way too. But that made me think, does Angie and Monica have a secret alliance off screen? Because we know these housewives, they always have secret alliances and pacts off screen. Because that makes sense now why Angie was so quick to forgive Monica. We had a conversation and she apologized and it was cool. Okay, what? You are still going so hard for Meredith. You had all the smoke for Meredith today when Meredith actually never said any rumor about your family, but you're still going after her still. You didn't get your fill in Palm Springs like I'm like a freaking fool. But yet you are kikiing and laughing and siding with Monica and so quick to forgive her when she actually said it on camera. And the gag is the rumor Monica said on camera wasn't even the rumor that Meredith was referring to. And you know this, Angie. So why are you so quick to forgive and to be on Monica's side when she threw your entire family under the bus, but yet you have no problem being wishy-washy to Lisa and you're still have all the smoke for Meredith? Is it because you and Monica have an alliance? That's what I really think is going on. I think they have a secret alliance. I don't trust Angie. Something is very weird to me. When it comes to her and her husband, I think they have an arrangement. They have an agreement. I think that they are best friends who are choosing to co-parent their child and do life together. I don't think he's, quote, cheating. I don't think she's, quote, cheating. I think they just have an understanding. And that's fine. I don't judge people's lifestyles. However you want to govern your life, however you want to govern your marriage, that is your business. But it doesn't make any sense how she's kikiing with what's-her-face, Monica, unless they have a secret alliance, right? And like I mentioned earlier, don't forget about that group. It was the Angie Harrington group, the Whitney, Dana, Heather, Angie K group that wanted to do the Lisa takedown. And then the other season, it was the Jen Shaw takedown. Remember when Angie Harrington and her husband did that Instagram account, Shaw Exposed? Because they wanted to, get Jen Shaw taken out. They couldn't wait for, the lawyers to send her to prison. They wanted to kick her out. They were all in that group. And then don't forget, Monica was Jen's assistant until she turned state's evidence and became a witness. So I don't trust Angie. I think she's playing quiet. She's playing like, oh, Lisa, I'm so scared of you. But she was a minion right in those groups. All of the groups that had secret alliances trying to take down Jen, trying to take down Lisa, and all of that. So I wouldn't, but that group broke up, right? Very similar to the Fox Force 5. When Heather and Whitney started, bad weather broke up, that broke up the group. When Angie Harrington decided not to come back to the show, that broke up the group. So I do think the group has broken up, but that doesn't mean that the members themselves hasn't gone and do secret alliances. And now it seems to me that there's an alliance between Angie and Whitney, and there's also an alliance between Angie and Monica. Because if you also think about it, how come Whitney is Team Angie? I think Angie is so scared of you, Lisa. She just can't talk to you, Lisa. Angie has she ever, gone against you, Lisa? Like, shut up, Whitney. Why are you like buffing up Angie? I'm more mad at you, Lisa. Ridiculous. So I think that there are some secret alliances going on. However, I think when Monica gets exposed for what she did to Beauty Lab and probably some other stuff coming out, then I think Angie and Monica's alliance will probably fold because Angie's going to save herself rather than go down with Monica. But I do think that there are some secret alliances going on. And that's why you see no matter what happens, very similar to Fox Force 5 and Beverly Hills, no matter what happens, it's, oh, I forgive you. We're cool. We're good with certain people. But with other people, they, have a grudge until the freaking cows come home and they run it in and run it in and run it in and run it in and run it in. And they do these like smear campaigns and narratives because certain people have alliances to protect each other and certain people don't. It's very, very clear. Very, very clear. Okay. So let's move on to Miss Whitney. Whitney is so annoying and self-righteous and just doofy. Whitney is like so doofy to me. Like the way she talks, I just feel like she literally doesn't think before she talks. Like as she's talking, the words are literally forming in her mouth. There's like no forethought. It's ridiculous. She's the type of person who went to like one therapy session or she went to like one Joshua Tree, ayahuasca, meditation session. And now all of a sudden she thinks she's a wellness guru. Girl, bye. She weaponizes therapy speak. We don't have those words in our house. We have boundaries and, we need to just my trauma, blah, blah, blah. You're just projecting. Like she weaponizes therapy speak. You're nobody's guru. You're nobody's life coach. Okay, sweetheart? I have a self-care podcast. I'm way better than you at it, Whitney. Okay? I'm not a guru by any means. I am not a life coach by any means. So girl, sit down, be quiet. She is still very jealous of Lisa and she needs to have several seats. And like I was saying on Angie K's slide, I do think she has an alliance with Angie K to have each other's back and to not expose each other. That's why she was going so hard for Angie and the rumors when Meredith brought them up. But then she got shook when Monica said it on camera about Angie's husband's sexuality and cheating. Because you could see on Whitney's face, she wasn't expecting that. She was like, wait, what? She was like, she was like, wait a minute. And she wasn't expecting it because she thought she was throwing Meredith under the bus. Because if you go back and really watch, the real person who is at fault for the rumor getting out is Whitney. Because Whitney was going hard. I can't believe Meredith said that. We have to talk to Angie. We have to protect Angie. Meredith is going after the family. What did she say? And remember, Whitney was the one who got Lisa Barlow involved, and then they brought over Monica. And then Monica was the one who said it, and Whitney looked shook because Whitney thought she was throwing Meredith under the bus. And I don't think Whitney expected to come out of Monica's mouth what came out of it, because remember, what Monica said is not what Meredith was actually referring to. I think Whitney knew what Meredith was referring to, and that's why she was shocked when she heard what Monica said, because they were two different things. That's another reason why I think Whitney and Angie K are in an alliance. Why was Whitney going so hard against Meredith, being like, oh, we don't want to talk about the husbands? It's really Whitney's fault why it got out, because she was pressing it and pressing it and pressing it. And Monica was like, oh, I'll talk. I'll spill the beans. I'll be a plant. I'll do it. Whatever. No big deal. Right? Crazy. And I think she was trying to bolster up Angie by going after Meredith, and then it backfired. Now, there's definitely trouble in her marriage with Justin, and I get it. Whitney is super annoying. To be honest with you, if I was Justin, I'd be kind of done with her too. That's just me. Just keeping it all the way real. And then when Lisa said to her, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel so no one has to guess, I screamed. I shrieked. And I was like, exactly, because isn't this exactly what I have been saying for years about Whitney and Heather? I have been saying this forever. Whitney and Heather, not so much Heather anymore, but when they were bad weather, Whitney now still, but Heather has turned a leaf. Heather has kind of seen the light. But they would create stories in their heads, in their minds, and then they would repeat it back to the group as if it were fact. Like, well, this is why Lisa said this. This is why Meredith did this. Remember, they caused all that drama about when Meredith's father passed away, about whether or not she was actually having the memorial and whether or not she was really there. And it was all semantics and a misunderstanding. And they tried to make it out like Meredith was lying about the father's memorial and all of that. And it was just like, no, girl, you made up the story in your mind. And then you repeated it to everybody else as if it were fact. And now you have all this drama and chaos going on because you lied. And so when Lisa was like, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel so you don't have to guess, I was like, thank you. I have been saying that for years. 4 years. They have caused so much chaos and drama and confusion. Shout out to Vicki Gunvalson. Drama, chaos, confusion. Shout out to her, because they do that. You know who else does that? Gina and Emily on the OC. Tweedledee and Tweedledum get together. They create conspiracy theories in their head, and then they go back and repeat it to other women as if it were fact. And then the two people are now fighting over something they made up in their head. Absolutely ridiculous. Like when Emily was like, oh, Heather told me that Shannon was talking about me at BravoCon. That was a complete lie. It was Tamara. Emily was too drunk to even remember, but Gina remembered and sat there and didn't say anything. You see, that's what they do. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And can we stop talking about your Prism line? I'm sorry, but like Lisa said, like if you didn't have a cash bar and you had some food, like nobody cares about your influencer event. It was a glorified social media campaign. You don't actually design it. It's not actually your brand. You're just the face of it. You're basically like an influencer. Nobody cares. Let it go. You had a beat. You had a moment. Nobody cares. What happened to your skincare line, Whitney? I'll wait. What happened to it? Thought you spent hundreds and thousands of dollars buying out your partner and rebranding it. Where is your event for your skincare? Can I buy it? Where is it? Do you even use it? I'm confused. Where's your skincare line? Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Okay. Now let's move on to Miss Heather Gay. So I'm actually really liking Heather this season. She's a little fresher, at least in this last episode. You know, I'm really liking her more. I think she's more grounded. She's not doing the absolute most the way she usually does. I do think the book signing event was a vibe. I was here for it. And I was happy to see her and Lisa come to an understanding, because Heather making her jealousy of Lisa a personality type, I was tired of it. And I think it's going to be more fun seeing them as friends than seeing them as frenemies. It's going to add a lightness. It's going to add just more fun to the show. You know, we don't need people at each other's throats for no reason every single scene. It'll be good to have beats and moments and comedy and friendship and fun and lightness. So I think it's going to be a lot better, a lot lighter, a lot more fun when the ladies are getting along and there's not this unnecessary tension for no reason. I'm looking forward to seeing the Bermuda trip meltdown where she exposes Monica for not paying her beauty lab and laser bill. And not looking forward as like I'm taking joy in it, but you know what I mean? Like for, you know, the understanding of everything going down. I think that the past 4 episodes, they've been okay. They've been, you know, setting up episodes. I'm ready for the juice. I'm ready for it to get good. I'm ready for, you know, a little bit of the judging. You know, I'm ready for some juice. And I think once we get to Bermuda and all of the fallout, we're going to get to the juice and it's going to be juicier and a little bit more energy, a little bit more life into the show because it's good, but it's not giving, if you know what I mean. So I think it's going to really get some more juice after the Bermuda trip and I'm looking forward to it. She was so uncomfortable at Mary's house. I would be too. It's like a haunted house. There's probably skeletons and demons and evil vibes running around that house. I would be too. Mary is an absolute mess. But yeah, I'm feeling Heather. I really liked her. I loved her event. I loved the excerpt that she read from her book. I thought it was a really good excerpt from the book. And I'm happy that she took a little bit of accountability, you know, being like, you know, Lisa, I need to be more open to what your experience is. And I want to be a part of, you know, Jack going away, not because I want to criticize you, but because I have a different perspective on it. And I think with Lisa hearing that, she was kind of like, okay, well, phew, you know, I've been so concerned about my son leaving, knowing that you're not going to be against me. It feels better that you can be a part of that experience with me as a form of support. Because quiet as it's kept, I don't think Lisa wants him going on no mission. I don't think she wants him actually indoctrinated into the Morgan faith. I think she just wants him to have that Barlow last name, but to be a person of the world, just like she is. You know what I'm saying? So I think that really softened her up, and I'm happy to see that more. And I do love Lisa, but I do think she needs to step back a little bit and not let these girls rally her so much. She needs to let it, you know, kind of not be so bothered by it, you know, because I think when Monica coming after her, she's really bothered by it. When Heather goes after her, she's really bothered by it. And I think that if you're truly going to be that it girl, the best thing about an it girl is that she's unbothered. She's unbothered because it's like, oh, sweetheart, like you're trying. That's cute. So I think that she needs to stop letting people like Monica get such a rise out of her. She's a bit of a thicker skin, you know? So I do think that about her, but I'm happy to see them getting along better. Okay, now let's move on to Meredith. Now, Meredith and Seth's podcast, if you guys remember when we did Married to Medicine, and speaking of Married to Medicine, I think I'm going to start reviewing it. I did a poll in the community tab. It's about 50-50, but I got a lot to say about Married to Medicine. So I'm thinking I'm going to start reviewing it. Let me know if you guys want me to. But do you guys remember last season with Married to Medicine, we were talking about it? And Dr. Simone and her husband were writing their book, like their marriage book, like, oh, we almost divorced, but we stayed together. Let's write a book to help people. This is exactly what I said, exactly what Seth and Meredith are doing. I said, don't write a freaking book. You need to do a podcast. And then in every single episode, you are either shooting a scene for the podcast, you're interviewing your friends for the podcast, which is what they're going to do. They're going to have Whitney and Justin on the podcast next episode, but you should just do a podcast. And so by the time the season airs, your podcast is launched, you have some episodes in the bank, and people can now go listen and download to your podcast in real time. And then from the podcast, you can sell your courses or your merch or your liquor or your jewelry or whatever it is, because you always use whatever platform you have to sell your merchandise. That's just how, you know, marketing and economics, and that's how it all works. You know, think about Taylor Swift. When she goes on tour, the tour is the platform. She's making her money from merchandise. from t-shirts and friendship rings and hoodies. Musicians make their money off of merch. Think about athletes. Their platform is the field, but they're making money off of memorabilia, wearing a jersey, get the hats, get the boots, you know what I mean? So every person who has a platform, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube channel or a TV show or a tour or the football field, they're always selling something else. And that's where the bulk of the money comes from. And that's why I was like, why are you writing a book? Nobody's going to buy your stale, funky book. And like, that's what Omarosa told them too. She's like, why are you writing a book? Number one, you guys are going to get divorced because you guys are fighting over it. And two, who writes a book? So as we now know in Married to Medicine, they're no longer writing the book. But we'll talk about that when we review Married to Medicine. But what Meredith and Seth are doing on their podcast is exactly what I said Dr. Simone and her husband should do. Do the podcast, shoot the podcast during filming, and then have it launched when it's airing, and then you can sell your stuff through it. So that's what they're doing. And I'm here for it. I'm here for the podcast. I want to listen to it. I want to know what happens. But again, very similar to a lot of marriages on these TV shows and a lot of marriages in real life. I think they have an arrangement. I think they have an agreement. I think at this point in their lives, they're more like brother and sisters, and they are co-parenting their children, and it's easier to stay together than separate. I think that they are I think in reality, they're probably living pretty separate lives. He's always in a different state and she's wherever she is, but they want to keep the business and the family persona. They want to stay on the show. They want, the optics of being a married couple. They want that prestige of what that still brings people, of having that look. But I think the reality is that Seth has been doing him, Meredith has been doing her. But I think when it probably started, it probably was cheating. Just like she said, I thought you were going to leave me and I was scared. I think it probably was him probably cheating on her from what it sounded like, and him living his own life and leaving her to raise the kids. And he would just, send the check home, live his life, do him, and she would sit there and she was there raising the kids. I bet that's how it started. That's very toxic. It's very unhealthy. It's very sad, very low, very, very, very lonely. But I think it evolved over time to, well, you know what? We may no longer be in love with each other, but we have these children and we have these businesses, and, unless you want to marry somebody else, there's really no reason to actually get divorced at this particular time. Let's just, you do you, I do me, don't embarrass me, we're good, and I'm okay with that. Like I said before, I don't judge how people choose to live their lives, right? I loved her vibe against Angie K and is paying her dust. Angie is so flat and she is so boring, and I just cannot with her. Like, I literally cannot. I cannot. Angie needs to go. But I would also like to see more of Meredith engaging this season. She hasn't been around that much. She's talked about her jewelry. She's talked about the podcast. It's her versus Angie K, but I want to see Meredith a little bit more engaged. So hopefully as the season continues, she will be more, and we'll see more of her, because I want to. All right, now let's move on to Mary Cosby. Now, I was a bit torn about whether or not I was going to report on this. Her son and all of his, illegal substances and DUIs and criminal charges. I was a little torn if I was going to report this, because I was like, well, it's her son, and that's like a big, thing with substance abuse and addiction. But then I was like, I give the smoke to everybody else's child when they mess up. We talked about, is her name Brianne? Kim Zolciak's daughter, whatever her whole name is. When she got a DUI, we talked about it. We talk about all of the kids who are on the show when they get in trouble. So I was like, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So here we go. So first of all, Mary is dark and evil as hell. So please leave Heather alone. And why is Mary even still on the show at this point? Do you think she's going to be brought back? I really hope not. Because what I'm referring to is, remember in the confessional when Mary was like, oh, Heather wants to still have church and community and God, but then she still wants to do her dark stuff. And I'm like, Mary, you are the darkest soul on that show. And I don't even really like half the women on the show, but you are the darkest soul on that show. I think the biggest person who should be worried about their relationship to God is you, Mary, because you're trying to act like God and you're trying to play God. So you better be careful. You're the darkest person on that show. And she definitely enables her son's problematic behavior. She seems to be completely checked out of reality in general and then checked out of his life in particular. Like, why are you on the show asking your son if he's married or not? That is wild to me. And then you're clearly, subsidizing his life financially. He still lives in the home with you, with his, I guess, wife. And you clearly pay for their existence. I don't know what job he has. But at the same time, it's like, what chance did this guy have? He's the product of a mother and what would have been his step great grandfather is the person he calls dad. So that right there is setting you up to having some type of emotional and mental issues. Do I call you great grandfather or do I call you daddy? That is a lot of stuff. Not to mention everything with Mary's family. The suspicious death of her grandmother, stealing the businesses, stealing the money, stealing the churches, the suspicious death of church members, stealing from the congregation, all of that stuff, the allegations of it being a cult, of Mary wanting people to worship her as if she were a god. There's a lot going on. And Mary Cosby is a loony frickin' tune, completely checked out of reality. And so it doesn't seem like she's really that tuned into him. But then at the same time, she seems to have a very enmeshed relationship with him. Like in a lot of codependent, dysfunctional relationships, it's like she is married to her son, not in a sexual way, but very similar to what we talked about with Alexia and her son Peter with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, where the mother thinks that her son is her partner. She pays for him. She enables him. He can do no wrong. No one is good enough. She's always there for him. She's coddling him. He never has to grow up. Peter Pan syndrome, where instead of equipping their children to be adults, they enable them to be infantile, to be children their whole lives, right? And I think there's a very similar dynamic going on with Mary and her son, where she enables a toxic behavior. Didn't even know he was married and he's getting DUIs. And then to me, this is a cry for help because you can't be that dumb posting weapons and illegal substances on your public Instagram and Snapchat accounts. Wherever he was posting this stuff, I'm not putting it on my channel. I saw the photos. If you want to see the photos, Google it. I'm not putting it on my channel. But this is either a cry for help because nobody's that dumb. Even if it's a private account, nobody's that dumb to post it. I guess maybe, but nobody I know. But let's get into more of the details, okay? These are exclusive details from Radar Online. It says Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Mary Cosby's son accused of driving under the influence and possessing marijuana during a 2020 encounter with police. Over the past couple of weeks, Robert Cosby, who is 20 years old, not even old enough to drink yet, has caused concern with disturbing posts on social media. One image showed Mary's child holding a Mary Jane and another unidentified pills in his mouth. In 2021, Mary and her son Robert faced criminal charges for allegedly providing shelter to a runaway and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The alleged offense took place on April 8th of 2021, according to local reports. Sources claimed the mother of Robert Jr.'s girlfriend called the police. Side note, I would call the police too. If my daughter was like, I'm going to go hang out at Mary Cosby's house and pop pills and smoke and drink and do lean with her son, I would call the police too. Yikes. The mother was reportedly upset that her child had been staying at Mary's home. I would be upset too. Robert and Mary pleaded not guilty to all charges. The case was eventually dismissed by prosecutors in February of 2022. This is another reason why Mary didn't come back to the show. Not because she didn't want to deal with the women, not because she was afraid to see them at the reunion. Mary didn't want the smoke for all of the skeletons coming out about her shady business, her shady church, her grandmother's death, her child's, DUIs and illegal substances and weapons and all of this stuff. Mary didn't want the smoke. She didn't want the smoke. Mary spoke out after the charges were dismissed. She said, "I don't live my life to please people. I live my life to please God, to the people who are committed to believing lies." Radar has uncovered additional court records that show Robert had a run-in with the law in 2020. The situation was first reported on Starcasm. On December 12, 2020, Robert was pulled over for a traffic violation. The police claimed Mary's underage son was driving under the influence and was found to have Mary J. Spice on him. In addition, prosecutors claimed Robert was driving without a valid driver's license. In March of 2021, Robert Jr. reached a plea deal with the government. He agreed to plead guilty to driving under the influence, and the other charges were dismissed. The court sentenced Robert to 180 days in jail with 178 days suspended. So basically, he spent 2 days behind bars and he got to go home. He was allowed to complete 48 hours of community service in lieu of 2 days behind bars. So he actually didn't even spend 2 days behind bars. He did 2 days of community service. That's who was Mary paying off? That's a very privileged, sentence, for being found driving under the influence as a minor without a valid driver's license. We talk about white privilege, but there's also green privilege. And by green privilege, I mean when you have the money to pay people, you get lighter sentences, you get a slap on the wrist, There's also green privilege. And as we know, Mary has a lot of people's money. I don't know how she got all her money, but she has a lot of money. And there's also green privilege. You see what I'm saying? Whew. Robert was also ordered to pay fines, complete 12 months probation, and attend a victim impact panel. Mary has not spoken about the arrest. Mary is married to her late grandmother's second husband, Robert Cosby Sr. The two have been together for 20 years. Again, I don't even think that's a real marriage. That to me was a business deal. That was nothing but a business deal. I don't even think he lives with her in that house. If he does, he has his own wing and they don't ever talk. They only have one son, Robert Cosby Jr. I wonder if they did the deed to get the son or if it was like some, in vitro situation. Recently on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Mary found out her son had been secretly married for a year. And that's what I was talking about. She's checked out in general in reality, but then she's also checked out in particular in her son's life. Yikes. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Do you like Mary? Do you find her evil and insufferable? Or do you think she's funny and shady? And what do you think is going on with her son? He's not even legal age yet. He's 20, can't even drink yet. And he's already been arrested. He's already been having DUIs. He's been married secretly for a year at least. And he was harboring a girl who ran away, posting pictures of weapons on his social media campaigns, along with lean, like cough syrup and all of these prescription pills and Mary Jane. Like, do you think this is a cry for help? I'm concerned. I think it's very scary. And what do you guys think about the relationship between Mary and her son? Is it codependent? Is it unhealthy? Is she enabling his toxic behavior? Put it down below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, you guys, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. But of course, I'm going to take your candy cane questions and comments in the meantime. And I'm also going to take a swig of water because I've been talking for a very long time. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, now let's get to your candy cane questions and comments. All right. Hey, Miss T, what's up, sweetheart? Hey, Tay Tay. Tay Tay says Monica is a disrespectful, spoiled little brat. I agree. Miss T says this episode was dry. Hey, Chocolate Chunk says, hey, Candy in the Candy Canes. Chocolate says Monica is insufferable. Miss T says the dramatics. Yes. Chocolate Chunk says, I said the same thing. Why not call an Uber? That part. Tay Tay says, I want Linda to show up at the reunion to hopefully educate Monica. That would be a moment. That would be a moment. I hope so. I hope so. I'm waiting for this season to jump off because we know it does jump off. You know, the Bermuda trip is the jump off. I'm waiting for the jump off, and I'm happy that they haven't filmed the reunion yet because that means we're going to get more recent and current questions answered. I hate it when they've already filmed the reunion, but then everything's coming out on social media. So then by the time the reunion comes, it's all old news and stale, and they're not even asking the right questions, right? Miss T says, Candy loves showing how great Monica is. I love it. I love it. I love it. Barbara says, poor kids. I agree. Pat says, why is Monica's car in her mother's name? I'm guessing it's Monica's credit. That Monica probably couldn't qualify for, is it a car note? A car note. I've never had a car note. So I think it's called a car note. I guess she couldn't qualify for the car note by herself. So she had to have her mother put it in her mother's name. Miss T says, wow, I know. Natasky says, pathological liar. Tay says, Monica's a liar. Chocolate Chunk says, at Candy, Washington, I have to disagree about the single mother thing. I consider a divorced mother living in the home with and being the primary parent to the kids as a single mother. That's okay. We can agree to disagree, but where I'm coming from with single mom versus co-parent is, or single parent, because there are men who are single parents, right? To me, a single parent is someone who is the sole, whether they are divorced or never married, but they are the sole financial, emotional, mental, and spiritual provider for their children. To me, that is a single parent, not Monica, who now is divorced as of 3 weeks ago, but whose father is very present in his children's lives and who is providing for them financially. That is a co-parent. That is not a single parent. That's the difference. If that was the case, everybody in this world who's divorced is a single parent, and that's not true. There's levels to this. That is what I mean by a single parent. Monica is not a single parent. Let's go to the slide. Let's see exactly what she said. She said herself, out of her own mouth, he is a wonderful dad and provider. She is getting over $6,000 a month, and he is seeing the kids on summers and all of the holidays because he lives in a different state. That is not a single parent. That's a co-parent. There's levels to it, but I respect your opinion 100%. Monica said, oh wait, is somebody here in the... Hey, Jacob, you want to sound off?
Yeah, just real quick. This girl is something else.
I told you, didn't I tell you guys from day one? I was like, watch out, she is a snake and she is a liar. I told y'all from jump. The moment I saw her eyes, she has evil eyes. I was like, this chick is a scammer. And everyone's like, she's bringing the drama. I was like, no. I was like, wait. And it literally was like 2 episodes later, boom.
Right. No, she really has won, I think, most of the fans over. Because I think she was very easy to root for when she first came on. Like if what she was saying was completely true, then how could you not root for her, right? And then I think that after that has been established, it's hard for a lot of the fans to be like, oh, now I don't like her. I don't know. I mean, I still think people love her. I really do think that. I don't know. I'm just like, oh.
I think the fans who are staying loyal to her are the ones who are choosing to believe that what she's saying is true. Because the reason why I didn't like Monica was because it was so obvious to me that she was lying. Because if I thought what she said was actually true, that her ex-husband abandoned her and her kids, and and she really was at that point a single mom, of course you are rooting for the single mom. If I really thought it was true that her mother was this evil, toxic, horrible, abusive mom, of course you're gonna be like, oh my God, that's so terrible. But I knew from jump she was lying. And from everything that's come out, she's been lying.
True. No,
The
true.
people who already liked her, usually you want to double down. So I think instead of saying, okay, you know what, literally the receipts, the court documents, everything that we've seen proves out of her own mouth proves she was lying. But I'm just going to pretend like she's telling the truth so I can still be a stan.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because those first few episodes, I was like, oh, I love this girl. I did at first, in her first episode, I thought it was strange. I thought it was strange when she was talking about her, her friend in the Secret Service that tipped her off about Jen. I was like, what
Yep.
does the Secret Service have to do with New York City courts and a random woman named Jen in Salt Lake City? I was like, okay, maybe she meant IRS agent. So I said to myself, all right, I'll give her that. I'll just give her that. Now I believe
Mhm.
none of it because I do believe that she put that stuff in her name when Jen asked her to. I do believe that. And I believe that the FBI came to her because remember, when Jen got arrested, multiple people underneath her in her organizations had already been sentenced because that's how they built their case with those people
Exactly.
pleading guilty.
Yep.
And um and we don't know who a lot of those people are. I believe Monica was going to be one of those people. I believe the FBI said, we know you put this in your name, we see it. You can either tell us everything or we could sue you too. That's what I think. I don't think she was
That
just
part.
an informant. I think she was about to get sued too.
Arrested.
Right, yeah.
Arrested
No,
too.
right.
Yeah, arrested. Exactly. I agree 100%. This is what I think happened. I think she only turned witness to save herself,
Oh, of course.
not because she had some moral high ground. And hey, Pat, hi, sweetheart. She says, I can't imagine leaving my teenage daughter so I can pursue my desires. Mom is no saint. I
Yeah.
don't think any mother is perfect because no person is perfect. But if I don't agree with that, because say the mom was like, I've had this dream to be a soldier. I want to serve my country and I want to be in the military. And if being in the military meant that you were deployed to another country on your deployment, is there anybody who would be like, oh, what a horrible mother? You deserted your children. No, people are only coming for Linda because people are saying, oh, she wanted to be an actress or something like that. And I don't even know if that's true. That's what people are saying. But they're only coming for her because Monica claims she went to pursue her dreams. And I'm not saying this is true for you, Pat. I love you, Pat. I'm not saying this about you personally. I'm just saying in general. But when a lot of people hear that, it hits them because they're like, well, I didn't get to pursue my dreams because I had a kid, or I didn't have the money, or I didn't have the connections, or wow, that's so selfish. How dare a woman decide to put her dreams over her kids? And that's not the case. If it were the husband who said, I have a dream to be a doctor, and he had to go to another state to get his doctorate degree or whatever it is, that happens all the time. Or men who travel for work all the time. Like for example, Justin travels for work all the time. Nobody's like, what a horrible parent. It's only when, and I'm not just being feminist, but I'm being like the truth of our society. It's only when women choose to chase what they are passionate about, what their dreams are, that doesn't fit into a very comfortable box of sacrificing who you are for your children, are they deemed a bad parent. I think Monica's mother was, yes, chasing a dream, chasing a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. She didn't drop her daughter off in a crack house. Like, come on, people. You guys are acting like she dropped Monica off in a crack house, left her by the side of the road, and was like, bye, I'm going to go, pursue what I got to do, and I'll see you later, Monica. That is not what happened at all. If Monica's mom wanted to be like a nurse, or she wanted to be a teacher, or she wanted to be, you know, some self-sacrificing thing, nobody would have a problem with it. Or if Monica's mom was a man, nobody would have a problem with it. So I'm not saying that's how you personally feel, Pat. I'm not saying you at all. And I appreciate your questions. I think it's a really good one. I think a lot of people think that way. But from my perspective, I think we need to let women be women and live their lives without saying they're a bad parent. Because I think women are human first, women second. And then if they choose to be a mother, then they choose to be a mother. And just because you put yourself first doesn't mean you are a bad parent, doesn't mean you're abandoning your children. It just means you're a human being with your own life.
Yeah, I don't think the mom is evil or bad or so horrible. I think that she messed up, and unfortunately, you have to deal with it, right? And so, but you already know what I think. I think that they've been done dealt with it, and the plan was to bring it onto the show, but I don't think that mom realized, oh, you're gonna make me look crazy. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But no. And as for Monica's name, I was quite confused because she's going by Monica Garcia. And I said, who the hell is Garcia? Because her married name is Fowler. That's Michael's name. And remember at that dinner that she had with her mom, when she called her by her maiden name, Monica Darnell, and you see her face, she freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that that's the name under which she filed, under which Beauty Lab sued her.
Yep.
That's why Heather didn't know that it was her.
Yep.
That's my theory, that Heather did not realize. Well, we all know that Heather did not realize that it was her. But I think because she didn't realize that that was her maiden name.
Well, what happened was Monica went into Beauty Lab under Monica Fowler.
Oh, she went under Fowler.
Fowler, but Heather only knew her as Garcia.
Right. And I was like, is Garcia your father's name? What a slap in the face to the mom, right?
I don't know. Catfishing. Girl, she is just doing the absolute most. Barbara says, how can Monica be a witness when Jen didn't even go to trial? Shook ideal. You can be deposed. Monica,
that's what I believe.
You're still a witness in a case, whether it goes to trial or not. When you're deposed, you're still a witness.
I mean, I suppose in the trial sense, when you're a witness is only during a trial. I don't think she was necessarily a witness. I think it was that it's like the mafia, right? Like they're going to go to the underlings to get to John Gotti, right? That's 100%. What I think she was.
100%.
Which I guess isn't necessarily a witness in the legal sense, but in the practical sense.
No, it is. She would have been a witness for the prosecution.
Is that still considered? Okay, I didn't even know.
Yeah, because she was going to give evidence about what Jen told her about the fraud. So she was going to be a witness in it. Like even Stuart, remember Stuart? He was going to be a witness. They're still called witnesses.
Oh yeah, true.
It's just that she took a deal, but she still would have been a witness. And then I'm sure they all got deposed.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, this girl really has I don't know. What's the word? I don't think we've seen a 180 like this before.
It's a lot.
She really is doing a lot. Like, and I don't know. I'm very I'm still confused as to what I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm just she is just the most confusing one. Okay, I remember now. As for Lisa and Monica, I would like to know when Lisa thought that, like when she had it in her mind that, oh, I think Monica stole my ring. I'm wondering if it was during the trip or if it was sometime later, because that last episode, not this one, but the one before this one, when they were at Whitney's event, and I was thinking to myself, why is Lisa this mad? I was just like, because she seemed like just done. And I was just like, all right, is it that big of a deal? But when we watched it, it was before the ring theft rumors were out there, I think. So I was like, so I didn't have that in my head. So now I'm thinking about it and I rewatched it and it looked like Lisa was almost going to cry at one point. And she's going to Angie and is like, I can't believe you. Because I believe that all of them talked about it and all of them were like, we all think that Monica took it. And I think that that was like kind of the slap in the face to Lisa from Angie. Because it's like, wow, you think just like me that this girl took my ring and you're still friends with her for the show. I It's
I
insane.
with that, I don't think where we are in the show right now, I don't think any of them thinks Monica stole the ring.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there yet.
Hmm.
I think after it comes out about Beauty Lab and, people are like, oh, around that time, Monica all of a sudden had all this money when Lisa's ring, went missing. I think then they came up with the idea that Monica stole it. I think the reason why Lisa is so, and like I said before, like she needs to kind of like, I don't know, like who saw, do some therapy and like be able to like let this go off her back a little bit more. I think Lisa is just still so fed up from the last couple of seasons where she really has been a punching bag. Everything that happened with her and Meredith and the hot mic moment and Heather always coming for her neck and Whitney always coming for her neck. I feel like Lisa, I honestly think was probably on the verge of a breakdown for a while. And I think that now with Monica coming for her, she thought that Angie had her back. I think that's why she almost wanted to cry, is because I think that she has been very just, I think she's kind of almost tapping out with everybody coming at her. I think it's going to get better now that her and Meredith are in a better place, now that her and Heather are in a better place. But I actually think Lisa was on the verge of a breakdown, particularly after last season.
Maybe. She has been, I think, kind of short.
She's been
with
very
her
short with her conversation. She's on edge and she's like, I'm tired of this. People keep coming at me. Like, stop. I can't take anymore. And if you watched last season, especially after that, even with the hot mic moment, that when she blew up and went crazy, I think that Lisa felt like everyone was against her, that she didn't have any friends, and that people were just coming at her and coming at her and coming at her and coming at her, which is true. She was a punching bag a lot. People love to take shots at Lisa because, like, very much like Heather Gay, they think, oh, she's just into herself. She doesn't care. She's above us, blah, 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 blah. Angie Harrington came after her. Whitney came after her. Heather came after her. Meredith came after her. Mary Cosby came after her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was just on her wits end. And I think what we're seeing now is her still kind of being on edge. And that's why I was like, I want Lisa to be able to sort of, don't let these girls throw you off your game. Like, don't let little messy scammer Monica get you like this. Like, don't cry over freaking Monica. Girl, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe, yeah.
I think they think she stole the ring after everything with Beauty Lab, because I think this Bermuda trip is going to be the tipping point. I think that's when everything really blows up, because the way people are acting now, I don't think they think Monica stole the ring. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe, yeah. Because, well, and like during that conversation that Lisa had at Whitney's house, when it was, she kind of looked like she was ready to cry there almost. Like, I was just like, oh my God, why is she so, like you were saying, on edge when Whitney was like, oh, I don't really talk like that at this house. And Lisa kept on being like, okay. Just like,
well, in that particular scene, I was tired of Whitney. Like, Whitney, we got she said it like 5 times, and her Whitney, Whitney, to me, she's a little special. Like, I don't know what is going on with Whitney's brain, but also with Whitney, it's like I was saying earlier with her, she's like the friend who like is newly in therapy and then wants to act like she's like everyone's therapist. Like, well, these are the boundaries we now have. And this is my trauma response. And I'm going to need you to stop projecting. It's just like, we get it. You're in therapy. Shut up. It's like she weaponizes all of that.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Unfortunately, she is the one that contributes the least, I think, to the show.
Do you think Whitney or Meredith?
Whitney
Mm.
contributes the least. I mean, well,
Mm.
Whitney gets it started. I don't think she necessarily needs to in the way that she does.
Mhm.
I think that it would kind of get started by itself. I think she just moves it along much faster than what it needs to, and then she looks kind of dumb in the
Mhm.
end. So I don't know. I kind of wish she would just if, but she has to do it right because she doesn't have a real storyline. So I guess that's what it is,
Right? But the thing
right?
is, it's like the people with no storylines are usually the ones who are hiding the most. Like Whitney, what happened to the money for your skincare line? What happened to your
Mm-hmm.
skincare line? You know, you're saying you're having problems with Justin. Is he cheating? Are you cheating? Like, what's going on? Why is he not wearing his wedding ring? Why are you guys no longer having sex? Like, you're kind of playing in our faces with it. Like, what's really going on? Also, Whitney, why don't you speak to your mother anymore?
Oh yeah, that was weird. I was like,
Wasn't
what?
that weird? Like, what happened there?
I
Because
mean,
you're
I guess it was when she got with Justin, right? I'm just assuming, but she
no.
never said, right?
This is what I think happened with her mom. I think, remember last season when Whitney was playing in our faces about her quote childhood trauma that happened to
Uh-huh.
her, but she never actually gave like a real explanation or a story. And I want to be very sensitive and respectful because I do believe people who say things have happened to them, I believe them, and we need to be respectful of all those people. So I come from a place of respect and sensitivity. However, where I think it gets very dangerous and sticky is when people like Whitney, who have such a big platform, are so wishy-washy about it. She was kind of like something happened and this and this. She was alluding that she was, you know, molested as a child, but it
Right.
wasn't ever resolved in a very specific, concrete way. It was all very weird. And that's why she had the falling out with Heather, remember? Because Heather was just like, I've never heard any of this. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, wait, what? And then she had the weird conversations with her brothers, and that was all weird. I think her mom was like, oh, hell no. You did not just get up here on this platform talking about you were molested as a child. With, you know what I'm saying? I think the mom probably was just like, and I think that's why they stopped talking.
Hmm. Oh
Right?
goodness, I don't
Because
know.
how would your mother react?
Yeah, that's ooh.
If
I
her,
don't know. I always
you know
thought
what
it
I'm
was the
saying?
father. I always thought it was
I always
the
thought it was the
father.
dad that she was referring to, but
Yeah.
she didn't clean anything up or clear anything up.
Right. I think she was afraid to because I think she might have been afraid of him potentially being prosecuted. That's what I thought.
Mm.
Because
But
I was
then,
like,
but then it's
oh.
like, then keep certain things sacred. Because yes,
True. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's where it gets dangerous and dicey. When you sort of do these very serious, meaningful conversations, but you do them in a reckless way.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to believe her because I do think because it wouldn't surprise me at all because addiction really makes you a different person. Like it alters your brain
100%.
chemistry. So I'm like I could see it. I don't
Mhm.
know if she ever really said how long he's dealt with addiction. I'm just assuming that it was really all her life
Mhm.
and I don't know. I was just like, I bet it's the father. I think other people thought so too.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these people. But yeah, I think that, and Meredith has been kind of absentee this year. Like, I don't think
She
she was
has.
really around the last two episodes, right?
I mean, last episode she was only there for a beat, talking about her jewelry at her little boutique. Other than that, she wasn't even in there. And then this episode, it was just like the scene with Seth and the podcast, which is a great idea because I actually had that idea for that exact podcast last year, but it was with Dr. Simone and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then for a beat at the book signing.
Interesting. Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't know what she's doing this season. I mean, I don't know. I think she's given us quite a few moments already without even really being on screen much.
I like Meredith. I like her.
Right. No,
She's a
absolutely.
vibe. She's a vibe. Meredith is a whole vibe.
No, yeah, I absolutely love her a lot. And Heather, I think, is having a good season. I've always liked
Agreed.
her a
Agreed.
lot. Last season, she annoyed me to no end. But I don't know. I think people are coming
Mhm.
back around to her, which I like because she was my favorite for the first 2 seasons, I think.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know. I'm always going back and forth. Well, not really. I think a lot of people are always going back and forth with trying to believe her in terms of, you know, why she doesn't talk to her because some people say that her family's perfectly okay with her not being Mormon, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know how anyone knows that. Um, but I I believe it, and you want to know why? Because some on YouTube, some Mormon channel was suggested to me because she did a interview with them,
Mhm.
like ex Mormons, and it was like shortly after I don't know, shortly after the first season wrapped, and it was her and that business partner that she always has on screen, and they were all up there, both of them sobbing, like, oh my, I was like, oh goodness,
Whoa.
they is she in therapy? She's a therapist immediately. Because I'm just like, I can't believe you're sitting up here crying. I get it. I completely get it. But I'm just like, please get help. Like, you have the
Yep.
money, right?
Get the help. Get the help.
I don't know. She needs therapy really, really quickly. And I think her children probably do too. I don't know. The kids actually seem very well adjusted just
They
on
do.
screen. Um,
Yeah.
so I hope that that's true with real life as well. But I think that she needs the therapy to get over Lisa. I think she's very
Yeah.
upset that Lisa gets to, protect because I don't because Lisa's not a Mormon. Let's be honest.
No, she's not.
And but Heather is very annoyed at the fact that she gets to claim Mormon while not having to do it. And then here she is, like, truly believing in it. And now I don't even know if she believes in God anymore either. Like, I'm curious.
Yikes. I mean, I don't take it like don't throw the baby with the bathwater. You know, like
Right.
you
No,
still
I
believe,
don't think she
yeah, you know what
does.
I'm saying? Like, woo. But
I haven't heard her say it, but I don't think she does. I don't
the,
know.
the thing with Heather versus Lisa, like I think they're in a much better place now. And she was even saying at BravoCon and stuff how they're in a much better place. But I think no matter what Lisa does, Heather's not gonna like it. And Heather's gonna have a problem with it because that's just Heather. She just doesn't like Lisa. But it's weird because it's like she's obsessed with her to the point where she doesn't like her, if that makes sense. Where it's like the popular girl in school, you hate her, like you hate to love her, if that makes sense. Like that's
Right.
kind of like the vibe where it's like you want to sit with them at lunch, you want to be invited to the sleepover party, but because you're not, you're calling her a hoe and you're calling her stupid and you're saying she's this and she's sitting, you're talking about her, you know what I mean? It's like all that,
Right. No. Yep.
and where it's just like she even said it in last night's episode. I just want Lisa to love me.
Right. I was like, oh God,
I was
girl,
like, oh my
please.
god, girl,
Oh,
stop.
also, before I forget about
Yeah.
about Monica, when so on that, on her child support thing and her alimony and such, how she's reported zero income,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, that's really strange. And what you were asking, and while you were reading it, how do you have zero income? I was like, how does she have zero income? I'm wondering, have they gotten paid yet for this season?
Maybe.
Because they do an episode by episode pay, like per episode pay. So I'm wondering, all right, all the episodes haven't aired yet. I mean, she's probably going to be in each episode, right?
Right.
But do they do it after the reunion airs? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I just thought, like, girl, you're on a reality TV show on freaking Bravo on NBC and you're claiming that you have zero income. I'm super confused.
Uh-huh. But also, when you were reading it and you said, "Oh, you're holding up there a snowflake. Are you not getting paid?" And then I thought to myself, "Is she getting paid?" Like that's another thing. Are you doing it for free?
If she is doing this for free,
Are you doing it for look?
ooh,
Look, because that's another thing. Based on just what we know, I mean, look, I do it for free. I'm just saying, I do it for free.
I would be a friend of for free, but I would not be a housewife for free.
I would. Sorry.
I would be a friend of. That would be fine because I'm gonna have my little moment, my little beats. But to be an actual housewife, I wouldn't do it for free.
I don't know.
Yeah, no way.
I would call Vanity Fair and be like, Vanity Fair. They're trying to do modern day slavery over here at Bravo.
Vanity Fair.
Well, because we know they're cheap.
Natasha.
We know they're being real cheap. Because also, someone said months ago that supposedly Gina from OC, supposedly current season, which is what, her 5th or 6th season on the show, supposedly she was getting the same pay as she did season 1. That's what someone said.
You know, that's just, I don't even blame the people. There comes a point where you just have to know your value and your worth and get a good agent, get a good lawyer, and have somebody negotiate on your behalf.
That's
because
why
I'm up here. I'm looking like a damn fool. You have me clowning you every single week for nothing, for pennies.
I wouldn't be shocked. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Crazy.
I'd be like,
wow. That is absolutely
next season. I need some money. Next season, you gotta pay me.
I need somebody. You need to pay me. As long as I am, you know, if you have Candy Washington in one of these photos, there needs to be a check that says payable to Candy Washington.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If I'm just a friend of, if I'm auditioning for the next season, then fine. I will do my internship for free. But when I'm on the marquee, baby, you got to give me something. And then Gina, well, this is why you don't hire people like Monica and Gina who work for free and work for nothing, because then they give
values.
Broke.
Yeah.
Then they bring that broke, bitter hater energy. Gina is a broke, bitter hater. Monica, as we all know, is a broke, bitter hater, liar, scheming, pumpkin eater. Like, I can't. Like, I really can't.
True.
That's why you have the women on the show who actually are making the most money, getting the biggest checks from Bravo. Look at Candy Burris. Candy Burris has so much of her own money, and look at the check she gets from Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And to be quiet, this Candy doesn't really bring that much to the show.
That's true.
I mean, that's not quiet for me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Candy.
Loud.
Shout out to Candy worldwide, my namesake. You know, I love another Candy all day, every day. But what I'm saying is she doesn't bring like oomph to the show. And she has stacks on stacks on stacks, and she's getting the biggest paycheck from Bravo. And then you have Gina out here, Monica out here, these weirdo brokes out here looking like damn fools, literally for nothing, for peanuts. For shout out to Monique for some play money. You see what I'm saying?
I love saying peanuts because it reminds me of what my grandma used to always call it. She's like, it's peanuts.
Some peanuts. You know, some peanuts. So you have to think about the caliber of the person. Like, it's kind of how the world, honestly, if you think about it, I don't know if it's sad or not, just how it is. I don't know if you guys, it's kind of how the world works. The people with the most money, the most free stuff, the people who don't really need it, get it. The people who are already rich, who are already influential, who are already powerful, they're the ones with the biggest bargaining chips. But the ones who don't have the most are the ones who are willing to do anything in order to get a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Amy says, why is she driving a Range Rover she can't afford? That's yucky. Live within your means regardless of what that is. She shouldn't be playing rich, not smart. 100%.
Yeah, I think
Monica needs to budget like the rest of us.
Yeah.
No, she does.
Get a sensible Jeep or something.
No, and you know what? Someone earlier was like, how come the car is in her mom's name? Because Monica had a foreclosure.
She had a that's what I'm saying. Her credit is
probably can't get nothing. She couldn't, and I'm not trying to make fun of her or anything.
No.
But she couldn't get an Afterpay account, okay? Like, no.
An Afterpay account? Oh my God.
Not a damn Afterpay account, Jacob.
Not with a foreclosure. Afterpay is going to look at you and be like, oh no, you can't get a pair of shoes with me. Sorry.
See, that's my whole point. The people who have the best credit, the people who have the most money, get the most perks, and the people who probably have poor credit because they probably need some money can't get jack.
And then that's why they get stuck in a loop. It's like a really,
That's why it's a loop, 100%. But
Yeah,
like,
why does she have a Range Rover?
Yeah. And that's why I was saying the mom, to me, is the one who's battered in the relationship. She's the one who Monica is doing the smear campaign against. She's the one who is out here now trying to defend herself because she's looking embarrassed as hell and crazy as hell out here on these streets. But yet she's still trying to protect her daughter. No, I don't think that happened. She's a good person. And, she's kind of messed up because it's the mom. You're going to defend your daughter no matter what. She's the one who had to eat crow and bring the Range Rover back, even though Monica's missing payments, messing up her mother's credit,
that's crazy,
cussing her out every single episode, stranding her at somebody's place. And then the mom had the I don't know where they make mothers like this, but there is no way that if I said to my mom, you're not going to, and my mom said, can somebody give me a ride home? I looked her in her face and said, no, you have to walk. Would my mom turn around and walk? She would be like, well, okay. She would have hopped her butt in that Range Rover, backed all the way out, and went all the way down the street to her house, and I wouldn't see that Range Rover ever again.
Right.
Where do they make moms like this? What the hell?
I don't know.
And I just think it's a testament to like the truth when you see, despite everything, she still is low key trying to like
she's still trying to protect her daughter.
Yeah. That's how you know who is the real victim in this. Because she has every right at this point to go ham, and she's not. Well, maybe she is a little now because she realized like the situation that Monica put her in. But during this time, she's still trying to like cover her up, kind of protect her, and it shows her. And I think like also like we've all been saying, and I think Freddie eloquently put it like last time too, it's the fact that like they are not in the same situation. Like her mom actually comes from a more like dire situation. She was all alone. She was younger. Monica had like several husbands. Like this isn't the same situation, and to paint it that way is manipulative.
And you're right. It's not the same situation because Monica's mom was actually a single mother, where Monica's father was out of the picture 100%.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Like zero help. She was young.
Like zero help. And where it seems like Monica's, ex-husband, at least the one that we know of, is fully in his children's lives. He just lives in a different state, but he still supports them financially. You know what I'm saying? And is still seeing them and is there for them, which is a completely different situation. And you also know now that Monica is really, in my opinion, the abuser in the situation with her mom. The way she was standing there looking smug, like you better kiss my feet, mom. Oh, really, mom? Like making her mom basically like beg and eat crow. That is, Monica did not look hurt. She looked smug. And her mother was the one who looked hurt. And then she had to walk away, being like, and what broke my heart was when the mom was like, what's her daughter's name? Bree? When she's like, can Bree give me a ride, drive me home?
Like, no.
And Monica said no and went and turned around. Like,
but don't she live 3 blocks away?
No, she said 3 minutes driving.
Oh, right. Oh, right.
So
and it's cold out there too.
And it's cold out there. And my thing is, one, Linda, Uber, Lyft, something. But the second is, I just could never imagine treating my mother that way. Like, I take this so personally because I'm so close to my mom. I could not imagine it. Like, if my mom right now was like, Candy, can you come get me from Timbuktu? I would be like, on the road, Jack. I would be like, bye.
Oh, God.
We gotta wrap up. See ya. I would be on the road, like, we going. I gotta go get my mom. I couldn't imagine it. And the thing is, and I know everybody doesn't have a good relationship with their mom. I know that. I'm not saying that my relationship is every relationship. But I wouldn't treat a stranger the way she's treating her mother. Like, if a stranger said to me, and obviously they're not like a serial killer or anything like that, can you give me a ride? Because I want to, for all the weirdos, the nuanced Nellies who'll be like, well, what if it's an evil hitchhiker and they're gonna kill you? Don't give people rides. Like the people in the comment section go crazy.
That don't really happen that much.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, if a stranger
I listen to a lot of crime, you never
human
know.
being looked at me and said, can you give me a ride home? I would say, of course I can give you a ride home.
Oh, all
and
right.
That's a stranger. No, that's why I prefaced it with
I
a
get it.
normal person. You know
I
what I'm
get
saying?
it. Yeah.
Like someone you know of, but you don't know, like you don't know them,
No,
but you
just
know, like they're a normal person. They're not a serial killer.
I'm just using an example where we can
Yeah.
suspend, all of the regular stuff. It just as an example, if a stranger said to me, "Candy, can you give me a ride home?" I would say, "Of
Yeah.
course, I can give you a ride home."
No, yeah.
So what I'm saying is I can't imagine having your mother look at you and say, "Can you give me a ride home?" and looking her in her face
Yeah,
and
that's
saying no.
crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
It's
mess.
crazy. And it's not a good look. And she's a brat and she's smug and she's all of that stuff. And it's not funny to it's not cute. It's not
It's
funny to me.
uncomfortable, and I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
speaking of Monica's foreclosure, I'm not sure
Oh my
if
God.
that's
Speaking of
real.
Monica.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I've been thinking about this foreclosure ever since we started this thing. No, because I'm wondering.
Jacob, you're out of control. I
I
love
love you, man. I
No,
freaking
because
love
I'm
you.
wondering which house are you talking about that you had a foreclosure on?
Ooh.
Because I looked it up. Whose house is who owns that house that she lives in? Michael Fowler owns that house. I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, which house?
it.
Because
Who's Michael Fowler?
her ex,
Her ex-husband.
Which one?
The most
the
current
most
one.
recent one.
Oh, it was his name was Fowler. I thought it was
Mhm.
Garcia. Sorry.
No,
You
I
don't
have
know
no
where
idea who
Garcia came
Garcia.
from.
I have no
What
idea.
is the where does the name Garcia come from?
I believe that it's maybe her father's name, and she's using it to slap her mother in the face. That's what I think.
Ooh.
That would make total sense.
But I'm
That's
just like,
actually a really good guess.
Yeah, But I'm like, whose house got foreclosed on, Monica? Because if your husband is making what, almost like $180,000 a year, where's the
Yep.
Why would you have a foreclosure? Is your credit bad for other reasons? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, I mean, her credit must be bad for a lot of reasons. Think about it. She's already had a pattern of not paying her bills. She's not paying the Range Rover bill in her mother's name. She clearly didn't pay the Beauty Lab bill that she's now being sued for. And those are just two things that we know about. Think about her entire history. Like,
If I
how
was her
did she
mother,
get
I would
to
get
the
rid of that
point?
car because I
Like,
wouldn't
how did
trust
she
her.
get to the point where her mother had to put the car in her name? She must have trashed her credit all the way
And
up
now she's
into
going to
there.
trash
More
her
than just
mom's credit. I would get rid of that car fast.
I would
Oh,
get rid of
absolutely.
it
Be
faster.
like, you're getting, we're going to get a Toyota, and you're
Yep.
going to talk to me nicely.
I want to know what happened during that marriage. Like, because if he was making the money, why is her credit the way it is? That's what I want to know. Because it's like, you weren't broke. You were not broke. So
It could
you
be
living beyond means.
It could be this. It could be maybe he makes the money and he knows how she is, and maybe he gave her like an allowance or something. Who knows? But she could she could get a credit card bill or whatever and run up her credit bad. Doesn't mean that he did.
Maybe he didn't know. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of closet people who do a lot of closet things. They're like closet gamblers, closet drinkers. You know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Maybe she had like an online shopping addiction or something.
Maybe she had some type of, who knows? But clearly she doesn't know how to manage her money. And also, I want to know why they actually got divorced. Because
it makes zero sense that it's not.
It makes zero sense. Like, why did you file for divorce in June of this year? In the article, I need to talk to the writers of the article. They need to make things a little bit more clear. They said after months of reconciling, she then filed for divorce again in June of 2023. When did they reconcile?
Right.
Because if it's months before she filed, that means when you were filming? Do you see what I'm saying? Or did the months before mean over the course of the last decade? Because the first time she filed for divorce was 2013. So that's why I'm like, you had sex with your brother-in-law for almost 2 years. That wasn't a reason enough for you guys to get legally, divorced. So since then, you've had a decade of still being legally married to this man. What happened in June? that now all of a sudden you guys need to get a legal divorce? And when were you reconciled? Because it wasn't.
I think he probably met someone.
I think he met someone and he wants to get remarried.
Yep.
That's what I think happened.
So do I.
Oh
because he doesn't live in Utah.
That will definitely push things along a lot faster.
And that's why she got full custody of the kids, because he lives in
probably why she's extra bitter.
And that's probably why she's extra bitter. I think that he met someone that he wants to get married to in the state that he's living and working in.
Yeah,
that's why he's
ready
only
to move on with my life.
Exactly. That's why he's only seeing the kids the summer and the holidays, and gave her the house because he didn't live in the same state.
Yep.
Goodness gracious. I don't know.
Bingo bango.
I don't know.
Really?
I gotta start getting ready. I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Lord.
Oh no! Okay, Jacob, get your beauty sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I already took the melatonin, and I said, "All right,
nice.
It's time now to turn off these lights."
Okay, well, sleep tight, sweetheart.
Okay, nice and early. I'll talk to you guys later.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah, like I'm really surprised with like the whole Heather thing. Like she is like kind of like, I'm impressed by her willingness to move forward. I'm still wary, and I still haven't forgot about what she's done. But like I said, like when I saw that clip of her on BravoCon talking about it, she was actually showing some real accountability, something that you never see really any housewives ever do. And to hear her say, you know, it's sometimes hard to look and to see what my role in things were. I was like, wait, whoa. Talk about like taking some steps forward. Like I was shocked. And it was like really nice to hear.
I agree 100%.
I definitely think you're right. There is something and I don't think it's Lisa's what she's doing. I think it's just who Lisa is and how she lives her life. There's something in that is triggering for her. And it was something that it really has nothing to do with Lisa. It's not like something personally that she's doing against Heather, but there was just something of some unhealed trauma within what she experienced in that church that was just like really triggering, and it was like projecting onto Lisa. And Lisa then in turn would have to like react, you know, and be on the defense.
I think no matter what Lisa did, I think if Lisa was a quote perfect Mormon, she would still be bothered because she's just as bothered by a Lisa type.
Yeah.
Hey, Chels.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You want to sound off?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Hey, Candy Girl. I just wanted to say I just found you, and I was the one who said to please recap Married to Medicine. I can't wait for you to do that.
Yes.
I can't wait for us to get into that tea. But as far as you guys are talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I agree with all of your opinions. I will say that I liked Monica in the beginning. There was some things that I was like questioning about her. I just didn't like the fact that she was kind of like boasting or like gloating on the fact that you cheated on your husband with your family member. So to me, I just am like, okay, so are we like praising this? Because I feel like if this was a man, like, oh yeah, I cheated on my wife with my sister-in-law, we would hate him. So I don't get, like, I just feel like everyone was like rooting for her in that aspect. And then I didn't like how, I mean, I felt for her in the sense of like, she felt like she needed to buy a Louis Vuitton purse or a designer bag to fit in with the girls. But at the same time, boo, like you're on Housewives. Like this is,
right.
You're supposed to be like on a caliber. So I didn't think that was fair in the sense of like her making Lisa feel bad about losing a $60,000 ring. And actually, Kenneth, I think you said something like, who's really materialistic is Monica in the sense of like, you're the one who wanted to buy the Louis Vuitton bag. And I was like, actually, you're right. Like that does make sense, because if you weren't materialistic, you wouldn't think that you would need the bag to begin with. So I really like that aspect. And then just her, losing a $60,000 ring. I think someone else had said it, like they would make it a big deal. And honestly, I'd make it a big deal. My mom bought me an Apple Watch and I lost my shit because, excuse my language,
I hate
No, you're
I
losing
lost my
things.
whole cool because one, I lost it. And it was just like, I lived out of state at the time and it was sentimental to me. And I lost it. You know, my mom, she forgave me and everything. She wasn't tripping, but like, it's just the point. And that was Apple Watch, $500, whatever. But could you imagine losing something that's worth that much money and your spouse gave it to you?
If
I
I
just thought
lost
that.
a $60 ring,
That's
I'd
like
be
some
pissed.
people's yearly
Okay.
You know what I
salary.
mean? It doesn't matter. Like if it's your ring, and then
I
also
hate
like
losing things. I do
I
a
hate
mess
losing
every
things,
time.
and also like you said, like you're on the Real Housewives. Like I'm confused as to what your point is, Monica. Like you're not supposed to be relatable to middle America. You're supposed to be over the top and gaudy and lavish. Like that's literally the premise of the show.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And how twisted
And
and
to be
scary
married.
would it be if she is the actual thief of that ring? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised
I
if she
hope not.
was.
I really hope not. But if she, I mean, nothing.
like,
But like someone else
yikes.
said, like her spirit seems
Mhm.
kind of bad. Like who would cheat?
Yeah, right?
Like, you know, cheating is bad, but but to do it with the spouse, and someone said like you're breaking up two families because it's also like the cousins,
Mhm.
and it's just awkward. Like talk about awkward family drama that your mom caused, and she has four girls, and I don't know the thing between her and her mom's relationship. I I
Mhm.
I feel bad. I love my mom. We have a good relationship, so I can't really understand. I can empathize where she's coming from, but really like relating, I don't know. But I still would never talk to my mom like that. Like you can't.
I
So
agree. And I agree with you said about how weird it was, how she was almost like gloating
I was just going to say
about
that.
the affair with her brother-in-law.
That
But
was
now
my
I
same
understand
reaction.
I understand why she was so evil like that and gloating in it is because one, she was being very shady about the timeline. Like when she said she was having the affair with her brother-in-law for 18 months, I thought that was like a pretty like recent thing that happened. And that is what caused her divorce from her husband. That's kind of how she spun it. But the truth is that happened 10 years ago, and that wasn't even why she got divorced. So the thing is, I think with Monica, she has this nasty, entitled, gloating attitude because there's no consequences for her. She could literally have sex with her brother-in-law for 2 years and still not get divorced from her husband because they legally got divorced 2 weeks ago. October 24th, 2023. There's no consequence for her. She lies, she scams people, she does fraud, she disrespects her mother, and then at the end of the day, it's her mom who's coming to her being like, "This is an olive branch, I'm like, let's be okay." There's no consequences for her. And that's why she's doing it. She's like a spoiled little kid who it's like they keep acting bad and acting bad and acting bad because they never get punished.
And the lack of remorse for like betraying your
Mm-hmm.
husband and those close to you for that long is pretty shocking to me. It's one thing to do that, but then like to have zero remorse, that's just something I can't wrap my head around. And we're all supposed to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. You're a bad beat. Like what? I'm just confused. So yeah, like I had the same reaction. Like I gave her a chance, but as soon as I heard that, I was like, took a step back and I was like, wait, what is this? You know?
Yeah, and I agree with Kyle too. I also think it's really telling that Monica is weaponizing her children against her mother.
Yeah,
Because it is so clear that she coached her kids to be against their grandmother in tonight's episode. When just like Linda said, everything was fine, everything was cool before, then all of a sudden now, I'm this monster. Because I think the beginning of the season was the truth. I think that, sure, there was probably a little bit of dysfunction between Monica and her mom, which, whatever, people have. But I don't think it's to the level that Monica is claiming it is. And clearly her children had a good relationship with the grandmother. So them now acting like, oh, shut the door and we're so scared, don't let her in. To me, that's disgusting. that
Yeah.
you're making
Weaponizing
your
your
children lie and you're weaponizing them for a storyline.
Weaponizing your children is so damaging to them. Like, they're gonna need so much therapy.
I
She's
think
so
that we'll
selfish
see.
and
I think
toxic.
we'll see, like kind of said, in the long run, like the more these episodes play out, we'll see, kind of Monica's shades to her, her like layers that she has. Because I also think that there's something really fishy with the Jen Shaw thing. I do think that she was some type of informant, or what did you? I heard you guys earlier what you were saying, but I think that she was a witness and she did some plea deal to like not
Yeah.
do time. I definitely think I binge watched this show called Suits, and it's like lawyers and attorneys. It's on
Me
Netflix. It's pretty good.
too. Yes, with
Yes.
Meghan Markle.
I heard people have been getting into that lately. Like, it's had
It's
a
really
resurgence.
good. It has like 8 seasons, so it's pretty good.
8, wow.
Yeah, it's really good. And so like I was like, oh yeah, she probably definitely did that. And I'm like, Jen Shaw is locked away. And if anything, I'm like laughing because Jen Shaw can be hella dramatic. So she's probably punching air like, this bitch ratted on, excuse me again, this bitch ratted on me. And it's all the TV screens. She's probably hating it. But I'm like, it's all gonna come out. It all comes out, just like this lawsuit.
She's probably listening to this and loving us,
Yep.
like hating on her.
It's like I said, I liked Monica. I didn't hate her, but I just didn't like, I said, how she bloated about the affair. I did not like that. I thought that was like just nasty. And then how she ragged on Lisa about that. And I think that that's where their whole feud is. And where you said Lisa wanted to like bond with Angie K. I'm like neutral with Angie K. I don't really. I don't know. I'm just still gonna have to watch her with that. Whitney, I can't really stand Whitney. I need somebody to like get in Whitney's ass besides Mary. Because
Agreed.
Mary, like, I can't stand Mary. Like, as a Black woman, like I cannot stand Mary. I need her off the
Agreed.
screen.
Agreed. And I hate that she weaponizes
like,
the Black church.
that, and I just
I
feel
hate
like
it.
as I had family that lived in Utah, and I know it's predominantly like white people that live there, but I'm like, if we're gonna have a Black woman on the show, let's not put someone like Mary Cosby. Yes, she had a
Thank
cool,
you.
Leader, yeah.
I won't even say like a cool story. Like, she had a crazy storyline.
Yep.
Her marrying her step grandfather or whatever. But I just feel like she's wacko. Like, did you see the wig last night? I was like, okay, it looked a little nice, but I was like, I think it was peeling back.
The wig had legs. It was like crawling on her head.
Oh my God.
I was like, what is happening?
What
Is
is
cousin it on her
going
head? The
on?
wig was crawling on her head.
Like it was a
I
creature?
think the incest comment was way like crazy to say that to Heather. Like, I just feel like she gets
the inbred,
these props for like being super like mean. I think the dinner she had with Whitney, like if in Whitney's defense, the one time I feel like sometimes I can't defend her, I would have tore Mary up. Like, don't speak to me like that. Like, I just feel it showed everything. Like, you're supposed to be a preacher of the church and you're talking to someone like this. Like, you're acting disgusting behavior. That's not loving. That's not kind. Anything that you're preaching. So I honestly, I agree everything that you said, Candy, on Mary. I can't. I like Heather. I think she's okay. And who else is there? Meredith and Lisa. I like Lisa. I felt that she needed to just own it with the fight last episode with Heather. Like, we both got out of pocket. But at the same time, I think she's just, again, like mad that she wants people on her side. So I think as long as Lisa has someone on her side, she feels a little bit better. But I think at the same time, Lisa, you got to be accountable because it was getting rowdy on both ends.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say.
No, that's good.
And
you have such great insights. Yay. Thank you so much. Awesome. And I'm excited for Married to Medicine. I think we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Because I got a lot to say about these ladies on Married to Med. Like,
the
gold digging of it all.
The gold digging is very cringe. I've been cringing. Like, I've cringed like first and second episodes. So yeah, but
never watched it. Like, do I need to get into it?
Get into it.
No,
Natasha.
please, get into it.
Please do. Please get into it. Please.
Can I just
go? And
this
actually,
season, or do
if
I
you
have
haven't
to
gotten
revisit?
into it, no, if you haven't gotten into it, you need to go all the way to season 1 because okay, before I go, because you're gonna get me into this, Candace, how do you feel about Mariah?
I like
Mariah. Married to Medicine.
I like Mariah. I'm team Mariah all the way.
I feel like me and you have same viewpoints on
Yeah.
so many things, because I love Mariah. I
Love
love
Mariah.
Mariah. They need to bring her back, get Heavenly
Yep.
off the show. I hate how they somehow intertwined and like made Heavenly like the new Mariah. I can't
Ugh.
stand Heavenly. Quad did her
Heavenly
so
is
dirty.
evil.
Who's the other lady? Who's the other lady on the chat right now?
Natasha?
Natasha, girl, you need to watch it. Start from season 1, episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And then you'll come up to here to catch up to present, and it'll be worth it.
And you'll understand the dynamics.
Yeah. Especially with like Quad and Heavenly, and definitely between like who the two doctors, the two OBGYNs.
Oh, Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie?
Yeah. Then
Yeah, I feel like I know
Toya.
all the people because I like just from Bravo and stuff, and I know like the story behind Mariah. Like, wasn't Mariah the one that created the show?
Yeah,
She
she was the
created
creator of the show, and she had to
and all
sue
that
Bravo.
shadiness behind like it getting kind of like sold
But
up. from
unlike
under
all
her.
these other lawsuits, Mariah won. Because if you watch now, it still says on the thing, created by executive producer Mariah Huck. And I was like, yes, girl.
There you go.
Right?
Get your
Because she
coin.
brought the show to Bravo, and then they basically tried to steal the show from her, which
from right up.
unfortunately
under her, yeah.
they tried to do that, but she fought it legally. But she did it the right way, because when she was fighting Bravo, it was around the same time Nene was as well. But Mariah just kept super quiet. She never talked about it publicly, and she let her lawyers handle it behind the scenes. And I'm pretty sure she won. That's why we still see her on there. But where Nene went wrong was she was on Twitter, got Twitter fingers, and going all crazy. And I don't think Nene got anything.
No.
I know when
Nene
you start throwing out
Nene
those
kind of screwed herself.
Yep.
She went too far when she started accusing Andy, whether it's true or not, of all the drug stuff. I was like, okay, girl, like you're not going to get anywhere if we're going to go that route. You know what I mean?
It's like what you need to do is say, this is what happened to me that was wrong, rather than this person is a bad person. You know, when it comes to the law, you need to say, this is what they did. This was the breach of contract. This was the discrimination. This was the X, Y, and Z. But to say he's doing, illicit drugs, well, what does that have to do with your lawsuit?
Right.
You know
and
what I'm
then
saying?
she's wondering why bridges are burned.
Yeah.
Like she should have just like kept it mum and stuck with the business aspect of it if she wanted to get anywhere with it.
Adam,
I think she just got really
we're taking
emotional.
you out of the candy canes. He goes, Heavenly is the MVP. Mariah can make a comeback. I'll be for that. She can replace Toya. Heavenly,
stop.
Adam. Heavenly is not the MVP. She is evil. She's bitter. She's insecure.
Wait, what does Heavenly do?
She's bored. She's a dentist.
She's a dentist.
And she calls her husband daddy, and she calls her daughter mommy.
I hate that. I hate that already.
These girls,
she's almost like a Mary Cosby. She's almost like they're different but the same. Just very evil spirited, and they say really, really nasty things about people.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I agree with you, Candace. In a way, they're definitely mean spirited, and they say nasty things to the front of the face and behind. And behind. I just
vastly different personalities, but those same attributes.
Who's the girl that purposely like mispronounces that one girl's name and she doesn't? Mm-hmm. She like, I forget their names, but I just remember hearing her say it and her like standing toes down, like purposely mispronouncing that one girl's name. And she's like, sorry, that's her name. And she like puts the C word in the middle of her name and purposely says it that way to get under her skin.
I don't know.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know who you're talking about. Yes. Who?
Why can't I think of the name?
I can't think.
She wasn't pronouncing her name right.
Always she always says it on like Watch What Happens Live and stuff.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she'll like purposely say the name wrong. I know.
And they're like,
I can't
that's
think
not
of
how
the name,
you say her name, and she's like, that's how I say it.
I can't stand Heavenly. But teach her own. I know she's some favorites out there.
Yeah. Well, Phaedra coming back. Shout out to Miss T. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for being my mod and holding me down. What do I think about Phaedra joining? I think it's I think I'm here for Phaedra joining. However, Phaedra to me seems highly produced.
Yeah.
I think that she is a producer plant. I think she knows exactly what storylines, what narratives she wants to spin. And I think she's going to be a very much like a Kyle Richards type person, a Giselle type person who's kind of in everybody's business, but doesn't really talk about her own business and is there to stir the pot. She's highly, highly produced to me, but I'm here for Phaedra coming. You know, I think she got her punishment enough for lying on Candy and all that stuff. So, and I will say this, I do think Phaedra is a much better chemistry fit with Married to Medicine than the Real Housewives of Dubai. Because I was like, I'm confused. Why are we trying to put Phaedra in Dubai? Not working. I do
Very
think
weird,
from
yeah.
a chemistry standpoint, she works so much better at Married to Medicine. I think she'll be a good addition, but she's highly produced. Clearly a producer plant. She is going to be stirring the pot, bringing the mess. As we see for the next episode, she's bringing Quad to tease bachelorette party. Like, it doesn't get no messier than that.
That's just crazy. Yeah.
If we're celebrating me about to get married to my man and you bring his ex-wife to my bachelorette party, we are going to have a problem.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I do think that Phaedra is just a producer plant and she's going to be at the center of all the mess, but we're not going to know anything about her.
Barbara,
and I do think she had sex with, and I do think she had sex with Quad's ex-husband, whatever his name is.
Barbara just said the name. It's Contessa.
Oh, Contessa.
But she pronounces it, you know how.
Yeah.
Contessa. She's like Contessa. Like, she does not pronounce her name right. So annoying.
But she does it on purpose.
I need somebody. I need somebody to go after Heavenly. Like, I need somebody to go after Whitney. Like, a good read.
Mm-hmm.
A good read. You know.
Is she
all right, ladies, I gotta go.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in, Shells.
Yeah. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Bye,
Thank you, sweetheart. Bye.
Bye.
Do I think Sweet Tea is a good replacement for Anila? I do, because I do think that her dynamic is good. You know, she's the new fiance of Greg, and then we have Quad back on the show. I think that inherently is going to be good TV, good dynamics, and good drama. So I do. And Anila, like, she was boring to me. Anila reminds me of Sai, or I guess the other way around. Sai reminds me of Anila. Wannabe influencer, boring, and doesn't really bring much to the table. Crazy. All right, you guys, I'm going to go too. I am hungry and sleepy.
Yeah, I'm like falling asleep too.
Me too.
All right.
Thank you so much, Tasha. I love you, girl. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye, sweetheart. All right, you guys, this was so much fun. Shout out to Chell, shout out to Natasha, and shout out to Jacob, my lovely panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Thank you so much, T, for being my mod and holding me down. Hey, Adam, how are you? Hey, Barbara. Hey, Pat. Hey, Amy, Chocolate Chunks, Tay the Savior. Bye, Kyle, Alexi. Everybody in the chat. Who else was in here? Everybody, I love you guys so much. This has been so much fun. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live, because we're going live with more stuff. Tomorrow, we're doing The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Friday, we're going to do Miami and Married to Medicine. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, Barbara, thank you so much, sweetheart. Chocolate Chunks. Adam. Bye, Kyle. I love you guys. Hey, JV, what's up, sweetheart? Yes, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tomorrow. You know it. Same time, same place. Love you guys. Bye.